Yeah, so just wanted to finish up on yeah, you're doing homeschooling at the moment. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because there's a lot of interest in homeschooling now. How long have you been doing that, and can you touch on what that involves? Because especially
Since
now,
my
like a lot of people are really interested, and next month or so, it's gonna get a bit hairy, and well, next year, I guess.
Yeah, I've been doing it for about and I remembered that Bible verse I was going to share with you, but I'll share it after because it's a very good one. 4 or 5 years now we've been doing. I think 5 years, maybe four. Yeah, definitely 4 years homeschooling. So I've got three that we homeschool because the little girl's only two. It's not as hard as you think it is, because we thought it was going to be really hard. It's a bit of work, but what they get from being at home all the time is they get to be around mum and dad, or maybe it's just mum, maybe it's just dad, because one might be working, and that is really healthy. If they've got a good home life, a good home environment, that's really healthy. They're also not isolated in a specific age group. That's not really healthy. And then you have homeschool meetups that there's lots of those going around where you meet up with people, and there'll be like families that have all different age kids, and then those different ages interact in a certain way that actually increases their intelligence and their capacity in a big way. So sometimes my 10-year-old, he's used to being the older one and the more mature one. He helps out around the house, and he's got to be a bit more of a leader, but then he'll be around older kids sometimes in these homeschool meetups, and he's got to be the younger one. He's being the younger kid now. It's really important for them to have that for their development, to know what it is to be an older one and what it is to be younger. And you don't have to spend 6 hours a day teaching them. You just need to spend a couple of hours, because they got one-on-one with mum or dad. They don't get that at school.
Yeah.
A lot of kids are just talking and mucking around and being all of that. That's not there now. And then people say, "Oh, what about the social?" Well, if you want them to be social, they don't need to be social 6 hours a day with other kids. They can do that. You put them in some sports, or you put them in some activities. Plus, you have the homeschool meetups. You just go and you meet up with the other homeschoolers. Just get on Facebook, whatever. Look at it up online. Homeschool meetups for your electorate, and there's people that are meeting up, and they're doing all sorts of activities together.
Yeah, and seems better than dealing with a bully meeting you behind the recreation block or whatever after school to get beat up because you said or did something or walked past someone that looks funny.
And they're not going to get politically charged up. Like it's all political at school now. Like climate change, rainbow shoelace days, cross-dressing days. The climate change is a huge one. They get kids out protesting for that. Yeah. How evil is that? They're telling the kids what their political views are.
Yeah.
They're not giving them the ability to think for themselves.
Yeah, because we should all listen to teenagers, especially truant ones that are world experts apparently in these fields. But yeah, so
Greta Thunberg, right?
Oh, allegedly. Yeah, we shouldn't be listening to any teenager like in the mainstream. We should be protecting them, not like putting them out in the spotlight. Even like
see how they flip the truth over, right? We're meant to honor our mother and father, the elderly, and to give them the honor, but instead we've gone. The youth are being told that they know more than everyone else, and that the older people don't know anything. That's not true at all. That's completely false. But that's what they've done, and they've done it by skewering their worldview so that the worldview of these children is only these things. They're compartmentalized in here, and they don't even recognize all this other stuff around here, which the older people know about. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's evil. It's pure evil. It's a way of separating a generation from the other generation.
Yeah, it's like the young the young generation should be helping the older generation, taking care of them in their old age, and the older generation should be help teaching the young generation what they've learned in their life. It seems pretty basic to me, and that's sort of what I find attractive about homeschooling is you're learning what's real instead of being forced to, anyway. So go on.
I was just going to say, my oldest boy, he's much more mature than other kids that go to school, because he's been with mum and dad all the time. He knows you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't say that. He knows he's got to help out. He just knows those things. I mean, he's a 10-year-old kid, but they are more mature. And I think they develop a more solid foundation.
Well, if you look at the children from like 100 years ago, like TV shows, or from the 30s or whatever, like they were assistants in Congress, and like 10, 11, 12, 13-year-olds, when they come of age, they're like responsible enough. They're reading books. They're like able to run errands and do all these things back then. Now it's like, oh, I can't leave the house alone for like, with the society we're in now. But yeah.
You look at a grade 6 exam from 150 years ago, you wouldn't get 50% probably. I'm not saying you're not intelligent, but they were so far ahead of us in their ability to write. They could write like a lawyer, better than a lawyer now. Like a good lawyer, the way they would write a letter, these kids could do it in grade 6. They understood how to do that. They understood penmanship. I've got a book from the 1700s that a friend's lent to me. It's from one of their family members, and it's actually a Masonic book, right? It's got all these Masonic oaths that they've made. It's all sort of in code, but you see the penmanship and the way these people could write. They were so far ahead. You've got to give them credit. They were so far ahead, and we only have such a short attention span. We don't read books. We've been given that 5 to 10 minute, maybe not even 10-minute attention span. We use emojis now. It's like it's the deliberate dumbing down of our society to make it dumb.
Yeah, for sure. I'd love to. Would have been way better to grow up back then and learn like they did, but instead of like we got decent schooling, I get, or not really, but sort of self-taught and figure stuff out yourself.
We have the information, for sure. We have the ability, but we have to be driven to learn.
Yeah, and the hubris of having devices and screens and the internet, we think we're smarter than them, but it's like, we're not. Just have a look at everything that's going on. We're not. Yeah, it's just a illusion, a trick.